everybody. Welcome back. If you're back or this is your first time watching, of course, I am Pam. And today I just want to discuss some of the things. The first thing I want to discuss with everybody is about this. Of course, I know raising kids is not easy. I know that it's difficult. And I want to discuss how I I have a son who is deaf, and he is right now 30 years old. So I survived. That's the first thing. I survived. But when you find out, or we find out, that we have a child that is not the quote unquote perfect, 10 fingers, 10 toes, they can see, they can hear, taste, smell, we think, oh my God, what has happened? But no, I didn't feel that way. I felt that I had, some preparation. It was very scary. I was very young when I had my son. I wasn't a teenager, but I was young. And I really, that was a huge thing for me, because when we have children who has a disability, it does make things difficult for everyone in the circle, and some people who are not even in the circle, because they don't understand that when you take your baby out and they can't hear, because they can't hear, different things may happen. I happen to have a child who just blend in with everybody. He still does to this very day. He has been a great experience for me as a mom. In my experience with him, I have learned a lot about the deaf culture, the deaf community. I love them. They're great. Everybody has a difference in how they see it, but I had to learn a lot in a very fast manner. But the great thing about it is I was prepared. I was prepared even when I was a child. I think I was 12 years old when my uncle married a girl who is hearing, but her mom and her dad and her two sisters were deaf. And I used to babysit for them. So her mother would sign to me, which was great because I had to learn it, and then I could teach it to my child, which I didn't even understand how much of it that I knew in the time that I spent with them. It wasn't a lot. My biggest concern was, am I gonna get paid? Everybody is universal. I'm gonna get paid, but I learned so much. I did not even understand that I was learning colors and I was learning numbers at that young of an age, being around. I was just there as the person who could hear because they were deaf. And it made all the difference in the world in how I raised him and how I dealt with people dealing with him. And I had to make a decision in 6 months whether he was going to stay with me or attend a school for the deaf. And that was a big decision for me. And it caused all types of, I guess you could say, ripples in my family, because my mom was not hearing it. She was not, and she felt that, we can do this. And I knew we couldn't. And in the end, we made the decision to let him go to the school, which was an hour and a half away. And he was 3 years old. They started at 3. And when I say they were serious about those kids, they were very serious. They loved them. They treated them wonderfully. And it was the best experience that could have ever happened to my son. And I will be speaking more on the transition from him starting school to the time he graduated, and we had plenty of ups and downs, and he was a child growing into some things, and as a mom you want to be there, and you're not able to always be there. And I learned a lot of lessons, and like I said, I felt like I was a little kid and I had to start over. So it was a difference, but it was the best experience and the best chance that I could give him at having a better life, because his life was going to be what it was, because there are so many people out there who don't understand that sometimes when a person can't hear, they may not take things the way that you say them. you know, he may not understand it, because you know you can't use big words with them, because that's not how they're going to understand it. You break things down to the simpler terms so that they can understand, or you teach them, okay, when I tell you this is what it means. And I just learned so much in that transition, and he taught me so much, and he was so young, but he taught me a lot. And I'm talk more on that and some other stories that I tell about my life and how it's been with the child who is deaf. But also I'm going to talk about my journey going from being a married woman to being a divorced woman, in all the years in between. And they weren't all bad. No, they were not. There were some great years in there. So please don't ever think that this is a bad thing. It's a negative thing. Marriage is a bad thing, because it's not a bad thing. It's a great thing. I will be married one day, because I still want to be a wife. I still, you know, want to be there for someone, be somebody. And that transition was difficult for me, because you know, we all, or I'm gonna speak for myself, I want to be somebody, and without the consequence of one day waking up and somebody just saying, I don't want to be here anymore. And that's the difference. So we're going to talk about all of that. These are just some of the things that is going on, and some of the information that I wanted to give. So we'll start there, and then we'll just continue. So again, you guys, thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your time, and thank you for just wanting to hear what I have to say about this life of mine. So have a good evening. It's been nice. Hello, everybody. Of course, here we are again, Pam and me, Malia. And this is my grandbaby, Malia. She'll tell you her name is Malia Brooke, because that's her name. Yeah. So tell everybody hi, Malia.
Hi, everybody.
This is my little heart right here. Now, she drives me all the way up the wall, but I love her. All right.